What are critical thinking training wheels, and why should we use them? When we learn to ride a bike, we don't start on a steep mountainside. We usually start on a flat sidewalk with training wheels so that our bodies can learn how to pedal and how to balance. When we build up our skills, we can take off the training wheels and eventually graduate to those bigger hills. I argue that we need to do something similar with critical thinking and misinformation. There are forms of misinformation that are important to cover in a science class because there are strong scientific consensuses and yet a lot of misinformation around topics like evolution, climate change, vaccines. But if I start with those forms of misinformation without teaching students the skills first, some of them are going to get triggered. They're going to get defensive and they're not going to learn. So, what is the critical thinking training wheels approach? Well, it's starting with misinformation that's not triggering so that the students can learn the skills. For example, I start class with the witch trials in Europe from the 15th through the 18th centuries. People at the time were so confident that witches were causing any number of things, from birth defects to crops dying from storms to politicians losing elections, that they killed potentially hundreds of thousands of people, mostly women. But importantly, most of my students don't believe in witchcraft, and because they're not personally invested in it, they're able to more objectively evaluate the evidence. My goal for them, of course, is to turn the process inward and apply the same reasoning to their own beliefs and other forms of misinformation. But the training wheels approach allows them the opportunity to build those skills without being triggered, so that over time, as we practice, we can take off the training wheels and graduate to the big hills.